After we get all the good news out of the way for a little bit, now we got to get a little heavy. So about this trick. So Barry Weiss apparently is being dragged on social media because yeah, she's cucking to the Trump administration. This DEI hire as in didn't earn it, not diverse equity and inclusion, but she didn't earn this job. So the new editor in chief basically is trying to her damnness to defend the decision to remove a 60-minute story that was going to expose the horrific ways detainees being treated at an El Salvador prison. So what people haven't been paying attention because mainstream media is not going to be talking about it. When they talked about, oh, we're going to be deporting all the illegal alien immigrants, whatever, which is a slur when you call them illegal aliens, whatever. If people who are illegal, yes, we could deport them if you didn't come in the right way. There's not a lot of them. Or they were talking about the criminals or whatever the case is. Not a lot of criminals that are in this country illegally. So once you get rid of those, which probably lasts about maybe a couple of days, of course you got to keep the momentum going. So now we just grabbing people off the street without due process. You're shipping them off to God knows where. One of the places that they've been shipping people off to happens to be a concentration camp in El Salvador, which we are funding to send them over there, by the way. So they're taking our American dollars while we're putting these people over there. There are people who are being SA'd, being forced to have penises in their mouths. I saw the video, but I saw the interviews and all of the other stuff. This is not, I don't know if this was what 60 Minutes was going to be talking about or exposing, but from the videos and the articles that I've read, forgot which article it was. It might have been The Guardian or something or other did a full expose on it. Also, shout out to Kyle Kalinske because he's been breaking this story down and talking about it as well. So there's been a lot of people. So yeah, people have been sent over there. I heard they were kneeling to the point of where their knees are bruised. They're being beat. They're being sleep deprived. There was even a point where they would even cut their hands because they thought they were gonna die, and they would literally cut their hands and leave like notes or whatever in blood, written in blood on like sheets or whatever, because they thought like this is going to be the end. I'm not going to make it out of here. Like this is where they're sending me here to die. So this is all the stuff that's been coming out regarding this. But of course, because this is the Trump administration and they don't want all this stuff coming out, he, of course, I'm sure, made a phone call screaming at the Ellisons, who was still, by the way, trying to get their hands on Warner Brothers. Can y'all please let that shit go? You're not getting it. They're still trying to get Warner Brothers from, you know, they're still trying to get Warner Brothers from Netflix. There's, now Daddy Ellison is stepping in trying to get his hands on it. It's like, sir, your business has lost so far over almost $400 billion in 3 months. Your money shit is not even doing all that well. I mean, yeah, he's still got a lot of billions in the bank, but you've been losing money through, via Oracle and stuff. And now you went and spend money in this. Maybe spend time on Paramount and what you doing over there instead of trying to buy up other stuff. But clearly, as I said before, I'm correct. It's always lonely being right. But, and I don't mind it being up here by myself when I know what the fuck I'm talking about. They bought Paramount so that way they can get control of liberal media. But the problem is with this, the conservatives or whatever, these people that you're cucking to, y'all already have Fox News, you already have Newsmax. Like, you trying to buy CBS, they're not watching those channels. So you thinking by trying to turn CBS News into MAGA Light, that is going to bring the maggots over there to come and watch these channels? They're not watching that. They already look at that as, we hate the libs, we own the libs, liberal media, we don't have time for it. So you really think that you're going to bring those people from Fox News and Newsmax over there to CBS because you basically have changed the narrative, which is, let's whitewash the genocide that Israel is cucking to, because we got Bari Weiss up in a situation where she's a goddamn shill. She's someone who failed up in life and in her entire career. So what qualifications does Glasses have running a network, let alone a news network? But yeah, they put her fat ass up in there. And I know I'm probably gonna get people in the comments like, stop shaming women. Suck my dick. That's all I gotta say on that. Now, you can clock out, y'all can log off, go to another show, because I say what the fuck I want to say on this channel. If I want to be a misogynistic asshole when it comes to bigoted bitches, I'm going to do it on this channel because I'm paying to do all of this on here. I pay to use the streaming situation to work the way I need it to work. So I'm going to say whatever I'm going to want to say. If y'all don't like it, go to somebody else's channel. Please and thank you. So, with all of that being said, I do want to play the clip. Forgot to do all of that because I went on a rant. So I got the clip from the CBS situation that she had pulled And then we'll come back and we'll talk. Please.
It began as soon as the planes landed. The deportees thought they were headed from the U.S. back to Venezuela, but instead they were shackled, paraded in front of cameras, and delivered to CECOT, the notorious maximum security prison in El Salvador, where they told 60 Minutes they endured 4 months of hell.
Did you think you were going to die there?
We thought we were already the living dead, honestly.
It began as soon as the planes landed. The deportees thought they were headed from the U.S. back to Venezuela, but instead they were shackled, paraded.
The living dead, honestly.
I just realized it played again. So, okay, I got the point. So now that was a preview of what we were supposed to get regarding that. So, of course, it was pulled because, according to Bari, she said it wasn't ready. Meanwhile, they said they gave them hours to let them know that everything was done, all other stuff. And then this is what she says that was pulled. So, according to the report, because I'm going to just go through it at length, shout out to Variety for this. About 3 hours before airtime, 60 Minutes announced it was postponing a segment from correspondent Sharon Alfonsi, and I do have her response to this after I get through this story, interviewing deportees who the Trump administration sent to the Centro de Confinamiento del Turismo, sorry, CECOT. Child, y'all couldn't have just said CECOT. Prison in El Salvador. A CBS News rep said Sunday that it was halted because we determined it needed additional reporting. Meaning what? So you wanted to show that there was two sides to every story? No. Torture and rape and all these other things, there is no two sides to that. There's no two sides to people who are wrongfully detained. Which, by the way, I should point out that the Blowfish, aka Christy Nome, recently said, openly admitted that they out here arresting people and shipping them off without due process. She said, I just saw that recently on Here's Why with Kevin's Instagram page. If y'all want to go over there and check it out, he posts a lot of political stuff over there, the things that nobody else is going to tell you. So shout out to him. So she wanted additional changes to the segment and then spiked the report on Saturday, according to the New York Times. Among Weiss's suggestions were that the piece should include an interview with White House Deputy Chief of Staff, oh, you mean the racist, Stephen Miller, or another top Trump administration. No, why do we have to speak to a bunch of white nationalists and people who hate immigrants? Because Stephen Miller is a Nazi who hates immigrants. So we need to get his report. And first of all, he's not a camera guy. Like, you put him on, he's always got one tone, and that's always loud and just wrong and yelling. He's basically like the white equivalent of Stephen A. Smith. Always loud, always screaming. They only have like one tone of their voice and always wrong. So, according to the Times, she gave Miller's contact info to the 60 Minutes team. Well, they said Weiss, according to the Times, gave Miller's contact info to the 60 Minutes team working on the CECOT segment. Alfonsi said she already requested comment from the Department of Homeland Security, the White House, and the State Department. On an editorial call Monday morning, Weiss explained to CBS News staff why she held the piece. However, it remains unclear why Weiss, who should have been aware of the CECOT segment for weeks, felt an urgent need to pull the 60 Minutes report just a day before it was set to air, after CBS News had already broadly promoted the segment. Probably because after she already got a lashing from Donald Trump for airing that Marjorie Taylor Greene segment, where they were pissed off over that. And wasn't that last week when they did that? So after that, now you doing this piece? That's going to piss them off even more. And now Trump is like, what the fuck? First of all, I jumped through all these hoops or whatever, the Ellisons, to give y'all access and to be able to buy and go through all the red tape or whatever, so that when you could acquire Paramount, and this is how you repay me. There's a lot of quid pro quo bullshit that goes on amongst these people, apparently. And it's easy. Like, this is the first person I realized that has been so corrupt that he could easily be bought by anybody who just throws a couple of millions of dollars at him. I mean, he's made it apparent he's not even trying to hide it anymore. They're not even trying to, they're saying the quiet part out loud. So, of course, by putting this shill up in there, who's basically just going to propagandize everything that goes on with Israel and what they're doing with Palestine, I already saw that they were talking about something regarding, they already got like, what was it, Jared Kushner already got like blueprints for how they're going to be building resorts and and all kinds of other stuff in Gaza, because after you done flatline the place and kill majority of the people, what? Of course, now we could sit and put casinos and all kinds of other crap up in there. We could just Americanize it, because that'd be a great resortful place to live while you're sitting there smelling all the smog of dead bodies in the air. So how is it that she didn't know? Either, yeah, you don't know what you're doing, you're not good at your job, which she's not. She's just there to basically do the bidding of the other people at the top, to kill whatever type of segment there is. And that's great that you could do that. But here's the thing. This is where it comes in, where people that truly respect the integrity of real journalism, and they're threatening to quit, by the way, because of what the shenanigans and the bullshit they doing over here. I don't know if y'all noticed, but this picture of me choosing a hug was intentional. There's always a method to my shady madness. But yeah, so they're threatening to quit. They also said that the story presented very powerful testimony of abuse at CECOT, but the testimony has already been reported on by places like the New York Times, according to a source familiar with the remarks. She also said, well, okay, that's cute or whatever, that the New York Times reported on it. The question remains, not everybody reads the New York Times. Sometimes people do get their information from 60 Minutes. 60 Minutes has always been the place you go for top-notch journalism. I remember when I was a kid growing up, my grandmother stayed watching 60 Minutes. So whenever I was over at the house, growing up, I'd watch 60 Minutes and stuff, because that's what was on. You would learn about what's going on in the world. That was like when real journalism was real journalism. But journalism is dead, apparently, on legacy media. So she said, the only newsroom I'm interested in running is one in which we are able to have contentious disagreements about the thorniest editorial matters with respect, and crucially, where we assume the best intent for our colleagues. Anything else is absolutely unacceptable. She also said to me, our views come first, not a listing schedule of anything else, and that is by okay, girl, like, have a seat. It's like, what the fuck is this dumb bitch talking about? But anyway, regarding of that, now we have the reporter that I was telling you about that decided to clap back at Bari Weiss and her BS. So the correspondent, Sharon Alfonsi, slammed CBS News editor-in-chief Bari Weiss's decision to abruptly pull her report, slated to air yesterday, which of course on migrants deported to El Salvador's infamous CECOT mega prison. Alfonsi trashed the decision as a political one, which amounted to corporate censorship and a scathing internal memo to staff. So, she said that, yeah, she spiked the story in a decision she deemed political and not an editorial call. Of course it was. Nothing that these people do has anything to do with like the real integrity or editorial anything. This is about politics. It always has a resort in politics. Politics is now, and then people say, why you gotta bring politics and everything? Because this administration has turned politics into making it a part of pop culture. So the lines are blurred. So this time of way, y'all trying to talk about separate this and that. You can't do that. Not with this administration. So they said in the email, which was also posted in full on Twitter. Hold on, let me pull that up for y'all, so that way y'all could see it. This is what she said. Wait, hold on. No, it's a long read, so I'm gonna just leave it as it is. So what she said in the post, she said, news team, thank you for the new notes and text. I apologize for not reaching out earlier. I learned on Saturday that Bari Weiss spiked our story inside CECOT, which was supposed to air tonight. We, Ori and I, asked for a call to discuss her decision. She did not afford us that courtesy/opportunity. Our story was screened 5 times and cleared by both CBS attorneys and standards and practices, which I'm sure if she knew her fucking job, she would know that whenever you do a big piece where you know who's going to run in and try to talk about, oh, they're writing this thing, I'm going to sue CBS. I'm going to sue CBS for $60 billion. I'm going to sue CBS. You know how the bullshit, demented stuff that he always says. He always wants to sue people whenever they say something he doesn't like. So with all that being said, it's like, yeah, we cleared it through the attorneys. You always have to have a legal team when you want. I mean, don't you think when you watch The View, there was some, well, we have to clear things with the legal team and you don't want to say the wrong thing. So yeah, when it comes to network television, you have to go through the standards and practices in the channel, so that way you don't say the wrong thing. If you knew your job, ma'am, you would be able to know this. But clearly, she's there as, like I said, a DEI hire, or she's just a face. But it's like with anybody in this administration, you're there to be the face, but you don't necessarily have the qualifications or the wherewithal or the experience to handle the job that you've been given. And it's starting to show. And like I said before, she's going to run this into the toilet. It's like between the Marjorie Taylor Greene segment, that little one-on-one interview she had with Erica Kerr, and trust me, we're going to go on that grifting bitch after this story. And now this story, like CBS is failing up like her career has always failed up. So now she's bringing to she's bringing to CBS what she had with her career. Like nothing really worth standing. Like she's going to destroy the legacy of what CBS has spent decades building. But I just don't understand this because this is not a long-term gain type situation. This is like all short-sighted. So anyway, let me get back into the thing. She said we requested responses to questions and or interviews with DHS, the White House, and the State Department. Government silence is a statement, not a veto. Their refusal to be interviewed is a tactical maneuver designed to kill the story. If the administration's refusal to participate becomes a valid reason to spike a story, we have effectively handed them a kill switch for any reporting they find inconvenient. If the standard for airing a story becomes the government must agree to be interviewed, then the government effectively gains control over the 60 Minutes broadcast. We go from an investigative powerhouse to a stenographer for the state. Absolutely. Because it's like, we can't be going, oh, well, the government has to agree to be interviewed in order for the story to get out. Knowing full and well they're not going to go and give a story. Because how many times have we watched stories where, oh, we reached out to so-and-so, but we didn't hear back from them or they declined to comment. The story still runs. Because as long as you cleared it through standards and practices and the legal department, you can run your story and you already put it out there. We reached out to so-and-so, they didn't get back to us. They left us on read or whatever the case is. So now you want to be like, well, the only way this story runs is that it has to be cleared by the government. What is this, fucking North Korea? Fucking Russia? I'm like, no, this is not how we run things in this country. So they said, these men risk their lives to speak with us. We have a moral and professional obligation to the sources who entrusted us with their stories. Abandoning them now is a betrayal of the most basic tenet of journalism, giving voice to the voiceless. And we already know with the Epstein file, they trying to silence all them voices over there too. So CBS spiked the Jeffrey Wiggins interview due to legal concerns, nearly destroying the credibility of this broadcast. It took years to recover from that low point. By pulling this story to shield an administration, we are repeating that history, but for political optics rather than legal ones. We have been promoting this story on social media for days. Our viewers are expecting it. When it fails to air without a credible explanation, the public will correctly identify this as corporate censorship. We are trading 50 years of gold standard reputation for a single week of political quiet. I care too much about this broadcast to watch it be dismantled without a fight. And that Sharon wrote it. And you know what, sis? I am with you on all of this. One person said, remember when Bari Weiss and tagged her ass in it was all about the Twitter files and the supposed unfashionable censorship of conservative voices by pre-Elon Twitter? Maybe that was complete horseshit performative grifting after all, huh? Well, it's always a performative grift when it comes to these people. They get mad and they want to play victim whenever they're ostracized or cut out of the thing, or when you call them out or hold them accountable, because that's really what that is. It has nothing to do with, oh, they're trying to censor us. No, we're holding you accountable for the bullshit that you out here spewing. So these people did risk their lives, and their story should be told, and shouldn't be coming in that like, okay, well, we don't agree, or the people that I'm with, or I don't agree with the things that you're saying, so I'm going to silence you. This is where we are now. Like, we're literally in a fascist regime, and I think people need to really wake up on this. I tell you, this lady is going to destroy the CBS, what's left of it. I say people need to boycott the channel. Don't watch anything on CBS, including Paramount's going to go into the ground. And so far, Paramount has not even proven itself as a worthy successor now that the Ellisons have their hands on it. So I'm out. You're not getting off to a great start. I don't care about any of the movies that's coming out. Now the Ellisons are running it. I haven't heard anything exciting coming from that. The news conglomerate is a mess. And it just seems like it's going to be an uphill battle. I know look, if all the journalists band together, and it's like, you know what? If this is what this company is going to become, then we're all just going to protest and we're going to quit and we're all going to go rogue and do a Substack or go independent and join YouTube or whatever the case is, then do that. I just hope that, unfortunately, these people's voices won't get to be heard. At least we're aware of it, and the people out here can protest, because I read the comments, the 60 Minutes comments over on Facebook, and people were pissed off. I read a lot of the comments. People were pissed that they weren't going to be able to see the episode, and they went in on Barry. So, Miss Mama, that wasn't a Weiss, Weiss decision on you, because you tried to do Barry this segment, and now it's backfired. So it's not looking good for you, sis. And it's only a matter of time before they end up firing your behind, and I guess they'll replace you with another shill. But you're not good at the job. And then what CBS and them have to realize is that at some point y'all got to stop sucking on Trump's sagging tit and really think about the integrity of the country, and stop cucking to some man that y'all afraid is gonna go and have one of his little usual Alzheimer's rants because, oh, he hurt my feelings. Fuck your feelings. Feelings are not facts. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story? I definitely want to hear from y'all. I see a lot of comments that I got to get to, but let me know your overall thoughts in the comments down below.